Look, if you're someone who wants to start making money online, the biggest question that's going to be in your mind is, where should I start and what should I start with? And that's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video, because we're going to be breaking down multiple ways that you can actually reach 10K per month and figuring out which way is the best way. But who cares and why should I know? Well, I myself have reached 10K a month in my current business model. In about 9 to 10 months, I've also been able to train some other people how to do it, some people in their 20s and also some people as young as just 16 years old. So let's talk about what exactly makes a great business model. First and foremost, it has to be great for beginners, okay? It can't be too overly complicated and it can't require a bunch of past knowledge. So if you don't know me, my name is Tyson, and I actually was a carpenter / construction worker, security guard, and in the army before I actually became a 10K a month online entrepreneur. And yes, this means that I had absolutely no experience. In fact, I basically didn't even get paid to use my brain. I just got paid to move stuff around most of the time. So not only does our ideal business model need to be great for beginners, but there's also one other thing that's super important, and that is having high profit margins. If you don't know who Warren Buffett is, he is one of the biggest and richest investors in the whole world, complete billionaire, very, very smart guy. And one of his most famous quotes is to just find a business with super high profit margins, which means instead of selling something that takes $50 to produce and you're only selling it for $60 and only making $10 after that, you should sell something that's $60 but doesn't cost you anything to produce or only costs you little, like $10 or $20 to produce. And last but not least, we want something that we can make money with quickly, not something that's going to take years to make your first dollar. We want something that you're going to be able to make money with within the next couple of weeks or months. So without any further ado, let's talk about what is the best path to hitting 10K per month. And first and foremost, we have the traditional route. I'm talking you're going to college and university, and then you're becoming a doctor, lawyer, maybe doing something in STEM, meaning sciences, technology, engineering, or math. So objectively, this is going to take somewhere around 5 years to really start making any money at all, 3 to 5 years, and at least like 5 to 10 years to start making that 6-figure salary that you're looking for. Not to mention, takes tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in costs to actually start in the first place. So even if you are 10 years from now making 6 figures, you're going to be paying off all of this debt that you had to accrue just from trying to make this 6 figures. So in other words, this requires maximum time, maximum effort for essentially the minimum outcome, which is 10K per month in 10 years, and you're not actually going to be able to scale it. You're not going to ever be able to make no 20K, 50K, or 100K working the traditional route. So while society might deem this the best way to actually make 10K per month, it is far from the actual best way to make 10K per month. And now look, I'm not hating on people who actually go the traditional route. That's actually really good for most people. Chances are, if you're watching this video right now, you've wrote off that route a long time ago and it's just not for you. So taking a look into some of the better ways to actually make 10K per month online, we have SMMA, aka social media marketing agencies. Now guys, in case you don't know what an SMMA is, it's been one of the new business models that's really taken the internet by storm lately with guys like Iman Gadji. Essentially, this agency model works by building a team and then you go in and actually help businesses make more money. Guys like roofing businesses and chiropractor businesses. So there's a few things to note with this business model, and that is, yes, it is very, very popular, especially on YouTube, but the biggest downside is that you're going to be eating away at a lot of your profit margins. Remember, we said that the best business model is going to have very high profit margins, meaning you make $10,000, but you get to keep $10,000. And in a social media marketing agency, that's just not the case. And you might be on the internet seeing all these SMMA guys making huge money, 100K a month or 200K a month. When in reality, how much of that are they actually keeping? If they're lucky, maybe 50%. So while yes, 50% of $100,000 a month is really quite good, just don't be taken in by all the flashy numbers and all the Stripe dashboard screenshots, because it's not usually all how it seems. So the profit margins aren't that great, and also it's not the most beginner friendly. I mean, not only are you gonna need to pick a niche, you're gonna need to have this client acquisition strategy that you're always using, but you're also going to have to pick a service delivery, meaning maybe you're going to do Facebook ads. Maybe you're going to generate them leads. Maybe you're going to completely revolutionize their email marketing systems. I don't really know, but there's so many different things that you can do in here where it's kind of hard to actually find training on how to do them. And it's not very beginner friendly because you need to start with a whole bunch of skills. You need to know how to grow a whole business, and a business is a lot of moving parts. As a beginner, overall, you're not going to want to be responsible for a whole business's revenue. So overall, I actually do like SMMA. I do see it as being viable, but the best, I wouldn't say that. And then next, of course, we have dropshipping. And dropshipping has to be the most popular online make money business model that there is out there. Every time people see that I post a video or a picture with me with a new car, or they just see me making money, the first thing they always DM me is, hey bro, are you doing dropshipping? Oh man, you got into that dropshipping, didn't you? So dropshipping is just the number one thing that people just assume you make money with online if they see you with a lot of money. So although it is extremely popular, is it actually a good business model? Well, from what I understand, here's some of the main issues. So you're going to be shipping these cheap Chinese products, and they're going to have very long shipping times. You're going to have a high return rate, which means it's just overall a lot of stress. People are going to be complaining like crazy. And again, the profit margins are usually very, very low. I mean, you're usually giving up 70 to 80 to 90% of your revenue. So again, this is another instance where people are posting all of these screenshots of their dashboard. Look at me, I made 300K, I made 200K, I made 100K. Realistically, they're not even keeping 5 to 10% of that. Not to mention, thing with dropshipping is you're gonna need at least a couple hundred, but usually a couple grand to actually start profitably. And again, this doesn't make it that good for beginners. I mean, if you are a beginner and your goal is to make money, the first thing that you shouldn't really be worried about is spending thousands on just getting started. But there are other business models that you can start for free that are very popular, like YouTube automation. If you don't know what this is, essentially, it is building these faceless YouTube accounts so that you can end up monetizing them for views, and then you can own like 4 or 5 of them, and they can make you a couple grand each month. Now, in theory, this is a really good business model. I mean, you don't have to spend any money. It doesn't really seem that complicated, and you don't actually have to do all of the work. You can outsource it to other people. But of course, there is quite a few downsides. First and foremost, it takes a long time to monetize a YouTube channel. See, my YouTube channel actually blew up. It got a lot of traction very quickly. And I was lucky to actually get my first monetization like 8 or 9 months into my YouTube channel life. And even then, what was it making? Like 2 grand a month? I mean, it really wasn't anything crazy. So 8 or 9 months just to make my first little bit of money. And that's, again, that's highly lucky. If I was just making a faceless YouTube channel about just whatever, luxury watches or something, it would have taken ages and ages and ages and ages just to get to 100 subscribers, just to get to 1,000 subscribers. So yes, it has decent profit margins. Yes, it's something that's not super difficult, but it's not really that lucrative either. And it's gonna take you a very, very long time to actually start making money with this. Remember, we wanna see money in our bank account in the first couple weeks to first couple of months. And now we come to the next business model, which is an info product / becoming an online creator who sells an info product. Now, this way to make money is something that's extremely popular. Pretty much all the dudes you see on Instagram flexing some sort of whip or making some sort of money has implemented this in some way, shape, or form. Essentially, this is where you build a course or a program or a mentorship and you sell it online. Now, the great part about this is, again, you have very, very high profit margins. You're taking home like 80 to 90 to 100% of the profit in some cases. So if you're making 10K, you're keeping 10K. If you're making 20K, you're keeping 20K. And while yes, this is probably one of the most scalable and best business models that we've looked at so far, again, there are still some really glaring downsides. Like the thing with an info product is that you need to have a skill or you need to make something that people are going to want to buy. Where if you haven't even made any money online yet, that's going to be very difficult for you to do. And trust me, you don't want to be that dude who just gets on in front of the camera. You've never actually done anything. You have no merit, but you're just parroting what other people say. And again, you're going to have to build a whole audience if you want to sell something to them. And this is going to take time. You're going to have to be some sort of like online influencer, which trust me is not that fun. Okay. You get tons and tons of people who love you, sure, but trust me, there are a lot of downsides as well. So although this is good, you're not going to see any money in your bank in the first month, in the first 3 months probably, or even in the first 6 months to a complete year. I mean, for example, I was on YouTube for a good 5 or 6 months before I even started putting out a program. And the thing is, my niche is that pretty much everybody has a program already. So it was weird that I didn't have one. So I kind of already just made one basically because people were asking for it. Whereas if you're in a different niche, or you're talking about something different on YouTube, or you have a different type of audience, it's going to take longer and be harder to monetize in the long run. Which leads me to my final method, and the method that I actually started making money with and made my first 10K with online, which is copywriting. Now, the thing where people get confused is there's 2 real types of copywriters. The first type of copywriter is like an in-house copywriter or a traditional corporate copywriter. This is somebody who shows up, they write all the copy for a business, and then they go home, or then they're done, right? And usually these copywriters make anywhere from 2K a month to 3K a month, maybe in some cases 4K a month. And now look, there are tons of people out there who are like, yo, I've been a copywriter for 10 years and there is no way you can make 10K a month or more with copywriting, or copywriting is not a get rich quick scheme, or copywriting is not an online business model, or things like this, okay? The thing is that they're getting these 2 different types of copywriting confused, because the other type of copywriter is not just showing up to write the copy, because his job isn't to actually write copy. His job is to grow the business and handle the marketing systems. So in case you don't know what copywriting itself is, essentially it is writing the marketing for businesses. So anything in their emails, anything on their sales pages, or any promotions that they do on their social media. This is a skill that is very easy to learn. I mean, you don't have to learn the inner mechanisms of a whole business. Again, you can learn to just write simple copy that when people read it, they want to take action, whether that is buy something, sign up for something, or click on a link. And this is something that you can get a client with in as little as just a couple weeks. I mean, just last month, I actually launched my very first challenge where there was multiple people who got their first $1,000 within just 2 weeks of starting. It's not overly complicated. It doesn't take any money to learn or to actually start it. And you get to keep 100% of the profits, which means you're going to be making 10K a month from your clients and pocketing 10K a month every single month. Now, this copywriting I've talked about before on my channel, and this is what I teach. It's almost like being a consultant or a business partner, and I've referred to it in the past on my channel as copy consulting. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna call it growth copywriting. Because with growth copywriting, 2 things are true. 1, you're getting paid for the value that you provide and not the time that you actually put in. So while some copywriters go out and they put themselves out there at $24 an hour, or they give themselves an hourly wage, as a freelance growth copywriter, you are paid for what result you actually bring in. So if you're able to handle a market's promoting on their social media and they're promoting through their email list, then that's a whole bunch of time that now they don't have to invest in, and you're actually making them a whole lot more money than they're spending on you. And remember most of the other business models that we went over, things like SMMA, things like dropshipping, and things like having an info product? Well, copywriting actually takes advantage of all of those 3 business models at once. Every e-commerce brand needs a copywriter. Every SMMA usually has a copywriter, and every info product especially has a copywriter. I know me personally, I made over 10K a month just working with people who had mentorships and online programs. This is something that not many people are even talking about yet. It's not nearly as popular as some of the other business models like SMMA or dropshipping. But don't be mistaken, this is still a highly viable option if you're looking to make at least 10K a month online. Now, my people, if there's any business models that I didn't cover or forgot to talk about, or you have any questions, comments, concerns at all, make sure you go down and leave a comment and let me know. For the next few hours, I'll actually be in there replying to them. And now, by all means, if this is something that you'd be looking to learn more about or get into, I actually uploaded a full free 4-hour course on copywriting, how to actually start, how to learn, and also how to get your first client in the next 30 days. And that video is actually on screen right now. All right, everybody, that's it for today. And of course, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.